orange Sharpie with a blue top. Guaranteed to jack you off up. Guaranteed to jack you up. Hey guys, welcome back to We Watched a Movie. I am Mike, and there are two really big horror movie news stories today. Starting with The Faculty is gonna get a remake. Now, those words, when they come out of your mouth, are not guaranteed to jack you up, like a pin full of scat from Josh Hartnett in the 90s. You know, you usually hate to hear that movies like this that are your favorites are being remade or whatever, but there is some extra girth to this. Weird choice of words. There's some extra stuff to this one, you know what I mean? And the reason for that is because A, it's being produced by Robert Rodriguez, the director and writer of the original movie, and it's being written by Drew Hancock, who wrote I'm Getting Ready to Go See It Literally in an Hour Companion. The review will be up tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe and got the bell on. But yeah, and everyone's saying that Companion's amazing. The fact that this news comes out on the day of that movie coming out tells you that's at least most people feel that way about it. And Robert Rodriguez found his writer for the film. Now, it doesn't say who's directing it. We'll talk about that in just a second. But, you know, I think that the Faculty is one of those movies, man. I love this movie so much. But I will say it is one of those few movies that actually could use remake. I know. But hear me out. The reason for that is, I mean, if on the offhand chance that they do manage to get the fun and the entertainment and that special thing that the Faculty had back in the day. It's a big if, but if they are able to do that. The thing about that movie, when you go back and watch it today, as great as all that stuff is, and I love it too, an amazing cast, amazing soundtrack. It's almost impossible to top that these days, just like with the Scream soundtracks, but they did a pretty good job with the soundtracks in the new Scream movies. But if they manage to somehow nail that, which it will be hard, if you go back and look at that movie, I mean, the special effects, they could definitely use an upgrade. There's some spots in that movie that could use a remake, that could be made better. And I've always thought if you're going to remake something, like American Psycho being remade sounds insane to me, right? Like if a movie's a perfect film, there's no need to ever remake it. I'm always like, you should remake films that were a great idea and had bad execution. Now that's not The Faculty. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that if the script's really good and the script's right and the script is as irreverent and fun as The Faculty was, and then you can take that awful CG that's in that movie and fix that and make it cool, and you can actually make the film scarier. I don't know if anybody's gonna be scarier than Robert Patrick, but you know, that movie wasn't full of actual fear for the most part anyway. It was just fun. Super unlikely that they make it that fun again and today's standards and the things they were, but who knows? You know, Robert Rodriguez, I made a tweet about they should do a requel with The Faculty like years ago around Halloween time, and Robert Rodriguez retweeted it, and I was like, well, Robert Rodriguez is in, so I think he's been wanting to do this for a long time. I think we heard something about this a couple years ago that just came and went in the night. This one could as well. It could be one of those things we never hear about it again. Could be that Drew Hancock writes this script and it just doesn't work out and the movie never actually comes to be. But if it does, I'm gonna go in with full eyes, clear hearts, can't lose. And he's tweaking, man. Let him fucking tweak. I'm gonna go in there with that. And who knows? You know what would be really cool is if they brought back Josh Hartnett in a role as like a teacher or something like that, as like one of the evil teachers. Holy shit, that would be awesome. He could be in like the Robert Patrick role. Something like that would be dope. And also, the biggest if in this whole thing to me is the fact that there was no director listed. So we already know Robert Rodriguez is producing. So I guess that means he's probably not directing, right? And we know who the writer is. You know what I wonder? They waited to see Companion before they decided on a writer, it seems like. You know who wrote The Faculty, right? One of the writers on The Faculty was Kevin Williamson. By the way, I thought it was an awesome video a couple years ago, maybe last year, about the differences between the original Faculty script by Kevin Williamson and his earlier script by Kevin Williamson. And the differences are vast. It's crazy. I'll put that video at the end of this one, so check it out. I know nobody talks about The Faculty. It's not like a trending topic, so I don't think a lot of people watch that, but there's some really cool stuff in there. But anyways, my point is this. You can probably guess at this point. Kevin Williamson. What if they're waiting to see, okay, let's see what Scream 7 looks like. He's directing that. He's coming back to direct that. If that's a hit, maybe we go back into the well. Imagine that. A new writer, maybe a writer that has more of a finger on the pulse of today's generation, like Companions, like Jack Quaid's younger people or whatever. You know, we get someone with their pulse on the youth today, and we get the guy who wrote it then to direct it. Same thing they're doing with Scream right now. How cool would that be? How fucking fun would that be? I think it'd be pretty fun, and that gets me a little bit excited. Now, obviously, I hope they don't go hiring a bunch of teeny boppers, Stranger Things kids or whatever to do this. And that's fair because the people in the faculty back then, they're supposed to be in high school, but they didn't look and feel like it. You know what I mean? These days, I think they mess that up a lot. They're like, oh, we're going to do a high school horror movie, but they actually make them feel like high schoolers, which just makes it feel weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. Who knows? You know what's not getting old to me is Terrifier. I could watch those movies until as long as the day is cock. Whatever I'm trying to say, I forgot it. But Terrifier 4 has news that came out about it. Damien Leone on his birthday yesterday, happy birthday to him, said that he is announcing the Terrifier 4 script is being written. And he also announced that it's the most excited he's ever been to take his words from the page to the screen. Said a bunch of things that sound awesome about it. And most notably, he said that he will reveal that it's gonna reveal the origin of Art the Clown. So somebody made a really good point about this the other day. They were like, why would he reveal that in a tweet? Maybe he's just sick of being asked about it. I think you might maybe be right. Another thing that's notable there is he does call this the final Terrifier movie. He's been kind of wish-washy, understandably, about whether it's going to be 4 installments or 5 or how long the franchise is going to go or whatever. But he did call this the final installment, which that would make me sad. But there's a lot to that. It could be the final installment. It could be Terrifier 4, Chapter 1, Part 1. I hope not. I don't really love it when they do that. But if it means the next Terrifier movie, you want me to take a dump in a box and mark it guaranteed, I will. I got spare time. But for your sake, for your daughter's sake, no, I think that even when he's done with this, though, if he tells his full story, I think this is only going to be the completion of Sienna's and Art's story. These current characters that we're working with Art. And I think that makes sense to me. So, like, depending on what the origin story for Art is, we don't know what happened before Sienna. You know what I mean? Even if she kills him and rips him to smithereens, then there's a whole where was Art before she even showed up, and what awful, horrible, terrible things did he do in fucking Nebraska or wherever else? Just leaves Miles County and you got a whole new story with a whole bunch of new victims, and you can do whatever you want to. And I do think that even though Damien Leone might be done for a while, understandably, obviously he has all this pull in the industry now with how successful these movies have been. The whole entire horror world should be his oyster. But I'm going to finger this oyster. And what I'm saying is, God damn it. But he could do anything. So I don't blame him for wanting to spread his wings a little bit. And he's mentioned before something about maybe someone else will end up carrying this on. I don't know his feelings on that or how everybody working on the film feels about it. I definitely don't think we've seen the last of Terrifier. Too much money to be made off of it. Too much money to be made off of it. I think they're just hitting their stride, and I think it's going to be great. So, but that's exciting for me. I do want an origin story for Art the Clown. I don't think he's like, you want Michael Myers to stay as mysterious as possible, and we fucked that up a little bit over the years. There's something about Art that I don't need to maintain. It doesn't need to still be mysterious for it to freak me out, because he's just so crazy and the things that he does are so gnarly. It's not like a spooky fear-based thing. So I almost don't need that mystery, but also you could totally fuck it up. You could give him an origin story that just doesn't work and just totally messes with his whole aura. That could fuck him up a lot. That's true for sure. I don't think Damien Leone will do that. But either way, I'm fascinated. I think with each sequel, they've answered a couple questions, but I asked a couple more, and they've kept it perfectly vague. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I wonder what a finale to that looks like. The expectations are going to be sky high. The Dark Knight Returns. No one was going to be happy when they walked out of that movie. There was just too much on the line. And I'm not saying it's on that level. That's one of the biggest trilogies of all time. This is a little bit more of a niche thing, but it is a big deal. This is a new horror icon we're dealing with. So I'm excited to see it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see Companion tonight. Again, that review will be up tomorrow. Jay and I are recording tonight a commentary for Alien Romulus for our Patreon members. We're going to do Heretic as well for Patreon members. We got a Patreon party this Saturday night. So if you're interested in that, check it out in the link below. There's a free trial tier as well. And what do you guys think about all this news? They also canceled or they pushed Insidious 6 out of its slot for this year. There was a spinoff starring Mandy Moore, I believe, and they pushed the next, whatever they're going to do, whether it was Insidious 6 or the spinoff, they pushed it a year out. The same day that they canceled the Insidious live show, which apparently was a huge shit show, which I did a whole video about, which will also be at the end of this video. I love your all's fucking faces. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Lacrosse. Guaranteed to jack you up. Where's the pins? I need some pins. Guaranteed to jack you up. Orange Sharpie with a blue top. Guaranteed to jack you up.